Hi, welcome back to Connect Through Beauty. Oh my goodness, I love this conversation. I had the privilege to meet Lori a couple of months ago back in Arizona at a conference that we were at, and she is just such a gem and a sweetheart. So it was absolutely so nice to talk to her and actually discover that we both have very similar career path stories. So I really enjoyed that. She works for a software company called Rosy, and if you are looking for a software system for your salon, definitely check it out. It is really cool. And I just really enjoyed this conversation, and I know that you guys will too. So I'm so excited that you were able to do this with me. Thank you so much. What did you say?
I was happy to.
Yeah, no, this has been so fun to do for sure. It just kind of is exciting to do it I'm excited to do it because I keep talking about all of the different things you can do in the beauty industry. And it's not just I think we've talked about this before too. Yeah. It's not just one thing. It's so many things that go into it. So I'm very thankful. And so let's start with how did you get into the industry?
Well, it was 17 and a half years ago already. I feel like it goes by so fast, and the longer you're in it, you probably know this, but the longer you're in it, the smaller the industry starts feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But I didn't actually know I wanted to be in this industry. I had no idea. So after high school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I knew traditional school, college was not generally my thing of sitting in the classroom and book or whatever. That wasn't my thing. And I actually thought I wanted to do massage therapy, and I wanted to be a massage therapist, and I wanted to work on cruise ships, and I wanted to travel all over and do all that. So I actually did enroll in school for that. And after the first day, I knew that it was not for me. I did not even go back the second day. I was just this is not something that I enjoyed. That first day was it was hands-on. It was you get right into it. And I was just this is just not my calling. So I went back to it. And actually my dad said to me, just in passing one time, was you always have your hair on. You always have your nails are always something. Why don't you go to school for that? And I thought, I don't know. And I started thinking about it, and I said, I think I actually want to. So I did. And so that's how I really got started, is I just went to school for it and was behind the chair for the first, many years. But then I also got to a point too, because I started managing salons at the same time as doing hair. And then my opportunities started opening up more in the operation side or the business side of it. And so I got to a fork where I had to kind of decide, did I want to stay behind the chair, or did I want to continue down this other journey? And I then also realized that being behind the chair was not something I was super passionate about either. Mm-hmm. And so I went this other direction, and here we are 17 years later.
That's awesome. So you managed a couple of salons, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
While you were doing hair.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. When I got to the point of managing multi-locations, I was behind the chair. I worked for a company. It was called Premier Salons. It was one of the largest privately owned salon companies. And so I was still managing the salon and doing hair, but then one of the other locations that was close by, the manager was moving on or something. And so they just asked if I would, manage both salons. And I said, yeah, of course, because I can work behind the chair in both salons too and build two separate clientele. So that was great. And it was fun. And I did that. And then they're well, now there's, this other opportunity for 6 of the locations on this side of the state. Do you want to take that on? And I thought, well, maybe, but how do I manage? So I reduced my schedule, and I was still behind the chair 3 days a week. And then the other 2 days of the week, I was traveling to these other salons and helping them with their, operations and the managers and things that are in the salon. And so, because there were managers then at these other locations at the time. So that's really where I was like, okay, we got to a point where they said, we're going to expand this even more. And it would be like not 6, but 12 locations. And I thought, there's no way I can do hair anymore. And that was like that moment that I had to decide, like, do I turn that down and just keep focusing on building my clientele, or do I not want to? And I realized this was like the thing. This is when, like doing hair is not your thing. I would get like halfway through like a foil service or like, any service. And I'm like, I just don't even want to finish. I'm just done doing this. Like, I don't even want to do the blowout. I'm all done. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that was an easy decision. I was just like, no, this is not for me either. But I loved the business and I loved the industry and all the people. There's nothing like our industry. It is, there's nothing else like it.
Oh yeah.
So I knew I wanted to stay, and that's the other direction that I went.
No, that's awesome. I love that you said that. I mean, I think I can actually put myself right back into that situation where the day that I decided you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore. And like there was a lot of factors that went into it, so many things, but yeah, I mean, like you want the best for your clients and you want the best for your company, and to make that decision is kind of, it's hard, but it's also like profound too, because you're moving on into a different space, which I love that. So I can totally relate to that. So how long were you doing the 12 locations?
So I worked for that company for about 6 years total. And so I started, just managing the 1, and then I had the 2, and then I had the 12. And then for a period of time, I had like 22 of them at a time, while there was some shift in the team. And so collectively with that company for, I feel like about 6 years. And it was all through the Michigan area, but I did do some traveling for them. So that salon company, when I started them, they were working on paper appointment books, which, if everybody remembers, but paper appointment books. And so when that company brought in software for the very first time, I loved it. And so I was one of 2 or 3 people that would travel the country to their other salons and help them install and train all their software. So I was like doing different pieces in that role, but I just really enjoyed it. It was cool. It was a good, fun time.
Well, so that kind of brings me into where you are now. I mean, I feel like when you look back on your life, and I mean, when you look back on your career path, a lot of things gave you the tools to do what you do now. And do you feel like that was that one space that you were in that like really built your foundation to what you do now?
I feel like they're all stepping stones, and not just for me. I feel like this is probably for anybody, right? Yeah. I am always a believer that like everything happens for a reason. I always think Definitely. That, because you may not always see it in the moment, but later down the road, you always realize like why and how things happen, and pieces fit together. Mm-hmm. And so after that was there, I've also done, so I worked for a distributor, and I was a sales manager for a team out of Michigan and a little bit of Ohio for a little while. And so learning that side of the business, when you're in the salon or when you're a stylist and you're behind the chair, your product rep comes in or out, but you don't like see like what they're doing. It's a totally different perspective of our industry. And so I was always really curious about the sales rep coming in, or the conversations. Like when I was working for a salon company, they had 3 locations. I was their operations manager. And so I would be in those meetings, and I was always kind of curious about it. And so I would sit on those, and that kind of drove my interest. And I ended up going into, the distributor company. And so seeing different perspectives, like I can see from a stylist side, I can see from the manager side, I can see from the sales rep side, and now from software and technology. The only side I can never see is as a salon owner, because I've never been a salon owner.
Yeah.
So
I think that's incredible to have the experience, to be someone that I've been in your shoes before, I love that. I love that so much. So tell me, what got you into the position that you're in now and the company that you're with?
Yeah. So there's always, probably from back when I worked at that other salon, of the technology piece that I've always been curious about. Mm-hmm. if there's something that can help make things easier, like back when I was in the salon, I would print off papers of all of my products, and I'd be walking around the salon and I'd be counting every single product that was in the salon for any location. It takes so much time. And by the time you finish that, somebody already sold products, so your numbers are now wrong. And then you have to go ahead and it was just a mess. So once introducing software and technology and inventory management, anything like that, the tools that we have in technology can make things so much easier for you. And we should all probably embrace them. But I just really enjoyed that. And so when this role became available and I actually explored it, I thought there's nothing better. It's still in our industry. Mm-hmm. It's connecting people with tools that make their life easier so they can spend more time either with their team, with their family, working on their business, whatever it is. And I can just give them the resources to make their life easier. So for me, it's something that I just love doing.
That's so cool. That's awesome. And how long have you been with Rosy?
So I've been here now just a little over a year, about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And what are your goals for the future? Like, where do you guys see yourself going?
I mean, hopefully driving to make it even easier for people. What I really like about what I do is I get to connect still with a lot of the salons and the salon owners and managers and things. And so still trying to figure out, even though I'm not physically in that space anymore, being able to talk to the people every day that are using the software or the tools and finding out what their needs are. Like my goal is to help make everybody's life a little bit easier in the salon. Like, I just feel like that is huge because you free up so much of that time for them. But as a whole with Rosy is to still be able to deliver all of those things that are coming up, or things that are changing in our industry. There's so many things that have changed over the past years that how we can continue to provide all of those resources and just stay on top of everything for them and be, the provider that they need.
That's awesome. So do you just continue conversations with people that you've already made relationships with, or do you try to keep making new relationships with new salons, and how do you do that?
Well, this industry is very small. So everybody knows each other. You don't realize that at first, but the longer you're in our industry, you realize how small it is, and everybody's connected in some way or another just through, and so I think just being open to those conversations, like I want to talk to you, and you know what I mean? Like, what are your experiences, and what are you using, and what's beneficial to you? And through that, how can I make our product better for salons that, there's a need for something? So I don't think it's just connecting with our customers or just our current salon owners, but it's everybody. And what is the feeling that's happening in the industry right now? And where do we see the next wave is going, and how can we help, contribute to that? So I don't think it's just our customers or just salon technology. I think it's a much bigger picture.
I love that. I love how, in our industry, you're right. It is so small, but it's awesome because everyone's here for one reason. We're all in this together, and it always feels like that. Everyone is totally supportive of each other, and I love that. Where do you see, in talking with people in the industry, where do you see the industry heading? And that's a broad question, but for me, so let me kind of rephrase that a little bit for you. For me, I feel like the industry is really taken off in a great way. And I do keep talking about this, but I talk about it because I really feel like that. I feel like there's this new wave or this new reset button that's happening, and it's kind of really amazing. And I mean, just this year, I have finally been able to go into a high school, not a beauty school, a high school, to talk about our career, which is incredible because I feel like it's just never happened. It's always college, and it's never a trade school, and things like that. So that's where I see things heading. But for you on the technology side as well, where do you see it heading?
Okay, well, I think that's amazing that you've been able to go in and do that, because by going into high schools, it makes people that, for me, that regular traditional college was not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I think that gives those people that are like that okayness. Like it makes them feel like this is okay, that I can still pursue something that's not a 5-year degree or whatever, and that it's supported by my community and the other people that are in that industry. So that is amazing that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
I think, again, not totally technology related, but I just think in general, our world is at a place where we have, and in our industry, it's sort of separated right now. I feel like we have two different types of people in our business, where we still have people that are a little bit older generation that haven't quite adapted to new changes and aren't totally on board. I think that our pandemic kind of helped push people into that a little bit more with change and doing things a little bit different. But there's still a lot of people that I see or talk to that are like, there's no way I'm making my people pay a deposit for their service. It's like, oh, okay. Or there's no way I'm going to charge somebody a cancellation fee if they didn't show up, because, who knows? These are people that I care about, I've worked with for 20 years or whatever. So I feel like there's still that side of people that are, that older generation that are still afraid of that change, or don't want to adapt or do anything new, and they're very comfortable with what everybody's doing. And then we've got this new generation coming in that is like born with cell phones and like know how to use everything, all of the latest technology, like they are on it. And then social media for building their clientele. Like, what is a referral card? A physical referral card? It's your Instagram now, right? But for that other generation, it is a physical card, or it is that handwritten postcard with a stamp on it out to your clients. And neither way is right or wrong or good or bad. They're just very different in finding what works. But we're going to, like, when you talk about the future, that old way is going to eventually retire out, right? They're eventually going to move on, and we're going to continue to have this new generation of people in our business that are going to continue evolving the way that we're seeing it right now with, their digital marketing, their technology, their software technology, and it's going to continue to grow that way. That's what I see. That's what I think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right on. I feel that so much, and it's amazing what they can do. I mean, with Instagrams and these TikToks and these Reels, and I mean, it's so mind blowing. My 9-year-old knows how to do TikTok now, and I'm like, what? What happened? I thought you were 5. So it is crazy how fast they pick up on it, and how creative they can get with it, and it's really cool. But you're right, with the referral cards and the portfolios and all that stuff is totally out there, just at their fingertips. Love it. I love that. And you're right on with that. Definitely a new wave happening for sure. So what do you do? I like to talk about this too, because I find it so fascinating. You do keep evolving yourself, and you can tell as you described your journey in the beauty industry, but personally too, like, how do you keep yourself going and motivated, and what do you do to do that?
I think talking to people like you who also have like a passion for our industry. I think when you and I first ever started talking, it was just like an easy conversation, because I feel like when people are passionate about what they're doing and what they're a part of, it just makes things easy. But I probably a few things. I always am curious, and I think that's what led me to different parts of our industry.
I picked up on that.
I get very curious about, like, well, I want to maybe know a little bit more about that, or I want to so I stay curious, for one, of just being able to explore in different directions. And this is something I realized not too long ago, honestly, but I feel like I don't settle for things very well, which maybe is a good or bad thing. I don't really know.
That's
but
good.
I try not to just settle for things. I always am looking for, like, well, what's next, or what's more, or what else can happen, or how can this grow, or how can I do this differently? Well, how can I make this easier? And not settling on just okay.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
I was listening to a lot of books. I don't know when that happened either, probably as an adult, but I've been reading a lot of books so those are probably my things. What about you?
Love it. I do the same thing. I'm a podcast listener. I realized that reading books is not good for me. I can read for a little bit. I get to like chapter 8, which is far, and then I'm done. So I'm like, I can't focus, And so I switched to audiobooks. And I love that because it works for me. And I feel like there is something about a paper book that you can just turn the pages and highlight. And I love to do all those things. But I like to do it after I've listened to the book and just go back and like reflect. It's been a good way for me to click and retain the information. So, but I love to read books. I just read Ed Milet's The Power of One More. Have you ever heard of him?
I have not.
He's great. Love him. Great podcast listener too, or a podcast host. He's awesome. And a lot of people talk about Think and Grow Rich, that book.
Yeah.
So now I'm listening to that. So, those little things like that. I love what you said about not settling in the same way. I drive my husband crazy because I'm constantly like, what's next? But I also am working on being in the moment and enjoying what is happening. And that's hard when you're curious and you're creative and your mind is constantly going. So that's my biggest thing I'm focusing on right now.
I just read about, because you said you focus a lot about like being in the moment. The last book that I just finished is called The Power of Moments.
Oh,
and I can't remember who wrote this. I can't remember who wrote it.
I need to get it.
But it was so good because it talks about creating peak moments for people or for yourself and like elevating, where you're at. And it's not just that, steady, like your flat line all throughout the day routine, but how you can create peak moments throughout your day in little things, or how you can help create those little moments for different people. So it could be like work, your team, it could be your kids, it could be your family. And how to make powerful moments and impactful moments in your life. And so I thought that was a really awesome book.
I love that. Yeah, my husband he's very good at being in the moment. And so he always says, why don't you just get really good at what you're doing right now? Like focus on, it could be anything that I'm doing. Just get really good at that. And then you can, maybe focus on something else. And I'm like, what? Okay. All right, I'll try. No, I mean, so really that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome.
It is hard with the kids and stuff.
I know. Well, and then if you're doing that for yourself, though, you teach them that, just like in the salon, when your team sees you doing things that make moments or create, presence, your team will start to follow that too. And they'll start learning those behaviors and they'll do it with their clients. And I mean, it can be applied for everybody or anything, right?
Absolutely. It really can. So what I love to ask this question. What do you, when you look back, we're young still. We're very young still. So this might be really short, but when you look back and you think about your successes, what do you feel like, wow, I'm just so proud of that moment. I'm proud of that I've done that personally or in your career?
Well, I've kept 3 children alive up to this point, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Listen, we need a medal for that.
I don't feel like I've totally had, and maybe this is something that I'll come across way later in my life of like, oh yeah, this was a really pivotal moment.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't had that like huge, like boom thing. I feel like they're all little things. Like I'm proud that I have been able to be curious and take that courage to like take a step in a completely different direction for my career. I'm proud of that. And not just, there's so many people that will just stay stagnant with where they're at because it's comfortable. And so to be able to be okay being not comfortable is a hard and scary thing to do. So I'm proud of that. I feel like, but I wouldn't say that's like a big magical moment. I feel like it's just something like, stepping off the cliff into something that is unknown. And so I feel like probably little things like that throughout my, 17 years. have been there. But I don't know. Do you have like a big magical moment that you've hit so far?
So I think I love that you said that, because that is huge. And whether it comes easy to you. And that's why you don't feel like it's a big deal. And to be uncomfortable, to do things that are a little risky, to do things that are a little scary. And so I also am very proud about that too. And to take some chances, and really focus on building who I want to be. Who is this person? Of course, I feel like being a mom and a wife and all that stuff has been really amazing and great. But biggest moment, I think, is when I stepped away from the chair. Because where I loved that part of my life, it wasn't good for me to be there mentally. So moving on and realizing that, and not staying in that space of kind of like I went through a lot of postpartum depression. So it was that time where I just had my girls, and I didn't really know who I was anymore, just like that, like gut-wrenching moment. And stepping away and doing this, like coming more into recruiting, and how this position here evolved in the last 7 years has been an absolute, like an amazing journey, and it's been really great. So I would say that was the moment for me, because it's led to so many different amazing moments, right? So yeah.
And realization. So that's huge. That's something that happened with both of us then, is coming to that point of realization that like, this is not for me. Right. Yeah. And if being behind the chair for both of us really was not for us,
right,
we're not even just doing ourselves a disservice, but the clients that sit in our chair.
Right.
Because for me, I was like, I don't even want to do this right now on your hair. But it was not for me if that was not for you. So being able to realize that and like say that to yourself and make that conscious choice to do something different is very brave and courageous. And, you deserve all that credit for doing so.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I talk about that constantly. And that's what I love about this podcast, is bringing people on from different walks of life, but we're all in the same industry. And you're right. Like, I just love speaking with you, and being in a room of like-minded people is just, there's really nothing like it. And the energy, the passion that you feel, it's just awesome. It just makes you so excited about what you do. I love it. Okay, so one last question. Can you share with me like a fun fact about yourself? Like, what do you do outside of work when you're not focusing on all of the day-to-day stuff?
You know what? We love either being on the lake or going like camping. Some people would say like, you don't actually camp. And I'm like, yes, I do. That is something that I actually do. And I enjoy it so much. Like true in a tent with an air mattress, like on the ground, tent camping. So that's something that I really love doing. And getting the whole family together is like that forced time when you have teenagers and everybody's got busy lives, like forced family time to bring everybody together. But it's something that I really enjoy to do. So either it's always outside, and whether it's on the water or on the ground in a tent.
I love it. I love that. I see that your pictures on Facebook, and everything looks amazing. So it looks beautiful. So it looks fun. I haven't done that yet. The tent and the air mattress and the outside. I did in my backyard. And and I will tell you that I heard a deer like get angry. I didn't even know they could get angry, and I was out. And I just went back into the house. But I do love being outdoors. I love being in the mountains. We have a cabin in the mountains, and there's truly nothing like it. Your cell phone doesn't work, and kind of really like disconnect. And there's just something about being in nature, just kind of like centers you a little bit too.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love it so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, really peaceful. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you for having me on here with you.
This was so good. that was such a fun conversation. I so enjoyed that. It was just so nice to talk and laugh and really get to know each other. So I enjoyed it. I hope that you guys have too. I hope that really helps put things in perspective as well. No matter where you are in your career, you can always elevate it. You can always do something that's going to shift your mind a little bit too. We always have to stay motivated, and we always have to, really push ourselves to become the best versions of who we are. And I think we do that when we really sit down and explore what that is for ourselves. So you owe it to yourself to constantly fill that cup up and give yourself all of the good energy and positivity, and just continue to grow and be yourself. Keep staying connected, and I hope that you have a great day.